Wherever Chiron lies in your chart, we're talking about a wound that we can say you have carried for many lifetimes or in this lifetime. Once you've healed that wound, you can now heal others in the same context. Let's just dive right in to Chiron through the houses. Chiron in the first house. So in a prior life, you carried the weight of responsibility and leadership. We can say that you had no one to turn to and no one to lean on. The first house is about leadership, but if Chiron is there, there's a wound in this respect. It's like everything was up to you. So how can you heal that? What you're learning is to ask for help, developing a sense of trust that not everything will fall apart if you don't take it on yourself. And the gift that you have in you to heal others is your understanding that it's lonely at the top. If Chiron is in your second house, in a prior lifetime, you suffered from a crippling lack of resources. Poverty is only one possibility. You may have lacked food or shelter, but on the flip side of that, you may have suffered from the character-killing wounds of privilege and money, this sense of being an imposter. The healing is learning to improvise in the face of whatever life throws at you, proving to yourself that you can heal yourself. The second house has to do with how we value ourselves, and sometimes we find self-doubt when it comes to the second house, thus the need to prove to yourself. The healing that you carry, the power that you have, is in helping others who carry the wounds of poverty or that soul eroding shame of unearned privilege, like being born into money that has nothing to do with your work, with anything that you have done. With Chiron in the third house, the wound has to do with prejudice, with circumstances that arose where your natural voice was silenced. Perhaps your education was blocked. Perhaps you were forcibly silenced. The remedy is empowering yourself to speak up, claiming your voice. And that starts with mastering meaningful bodies of knowledge. It would do you good to practice oratorial skills. The gift you were born to give is helping others who were robbed of their natural voice. Now, often that starts with simply listening to others and encourage them to speak up. Just listening carefully, like respecting what others have to say, others who carry that same wound. Don't underestimate that remedy, that help, because it's huge. With Chiron in the fourth house, you were damaged by toxic family dynamics. This might sound extreme, but perhaps there was madness in your family. Perhaps you were falsely designated the crazy one. And the healing to that is finding your own soul family, that is, different people that you feel are your real family. The gift you were born to give is helping people who were impacted by living in a dysfunctional family. They sense that you understand them, even if your family was actually fine in this lifetime. With Chiron in the fifth house, you were sucked into physical pleasures that somehow beguiled you. You may have been fascinated by them, and because of that, lost perspective on the priorities, the true priorities in your life. The healing to that lies in finding joy in kind of the simpler things in life. Not to say that you need to become abstinent or self-denying, but having a creative outlet really helps that. It helps you keep balance. The gift you were born to give is helping others who have the wound of addiction, escapism, and the damage that can bring to them. So you can understand that. Chiron in the sixth house. In a prior life, you found yourself constantly under someone else's orders, and you developed a habit of adaptation to that, of letting other people set your agenda. Now, the healing to this is finding work or a form of service that actually expresses your values, your ideas, your values and interests, and becoming a mentor to others. As the gift you were born to give is in helping people who were forced to live lives that had nothing to do with their heart, like a shepherd finding the lost lambs of this world and helping them find their way. In the seventh house, in a prior life, you were hurt in a marriage or in a close relationship. Your trust was betrayed, so you got good at living without any love at all. And the healing is to find a partner that's truly worth the love that you have to give. This would be someone who would help heal you and would accept healing from you as well. because the seventh house is about equality in relationship. The gift you were born to give is in helping people who have been failed by people they thought they could trust, and so restoring their faith in love and in love's higher possibilities. Chiron in the eighth house. In a prior life, death was close to you. You were very aware of the brevity of life and the fragility of life. That kind of awareness probably stemmed from a direct experience. And because of that, your intimate relationships become too intensive and exhausting. So the healing is to find relationships where you can simply breathe, where you can feel comfortable. Life is never safe, but there are circumstances that feel safer than others, and that's what you need. The gift you were born to give is helping people who have seen and experienced the raw, extreme circumstances of life, crime, disease, darkness. You understand them like few others can, and they sense that empathy in you. With Chiron in the ninth house, the wound is that you were indoctrinated into a belief system or a religion that hurt you. It's like you saw the truth, but dogmatic thinking stood between you and what you were seeing in your very eyes. So the healing to that is focusing on questions rather than on answers. If you sort of flip that switch, you feel this relief that you don't always have to be right about everything. And the gift you have is in helping others who carry the wound of mistaking their opinions for the actual paradoxical and maybe more nuanced world that we live in. Chiron in the 10th house. So in a prior life, you occupied a public position that was at variance with your own heart. Your heart wasn't in it. You may have come into that public role because that's what family expected you to do, or because of a very strong ambition that wasn't connected to your true self. The healing is to recognize that sometimes fame and power are overrated and don't bring us the joy that we thought they would. So turning away from prestige to find the right work for you, letting go of blind ambition. The gift you were born with is to help others who have the wounds of tribal definitions of status and power. Chiron in the 11th house, and the wound has to do with being carried away by the herd. Without thinking, you found yourself being carried away in a kind of herd instinct in circumstances that didn't reflect your values. This cost you your own sense of direction, like where am I going in life? What are my priorities? How do I see my future? Your path to healing is to recognize your own spiritual priorities, setting goals that prioritize your values, that empower you, and then seeking out the kinds of allies or circles of people that share the same values and the same intentions. The gift you were born to give is in helping people that were swept away by all kinds of forms of conventional thinking that actually run contrary to their own values. And last but not least, Chiron in the 12th house. In a past lifetime, you experienced something that felt like losing everything, a total and absolute catastrophe. Things simply fell apart and you had nothing left. The scars of that loss are still with you. The healing process has to do with recovering faith and hope and enthusiasm for life. That involves recognizing the harsh effects of your underlying belief that anything good that comes to you is an ominous sign that it will probably be taken away from you. The gift you were born to give is in helping people who experience tragedy and loss. They sense correctly that you understand them. We ascribe the 12th house to transcendence on its high aspect, and to loss, right? If Chiron is there, definitely. But no one is closer to the divine than someone who had nothing to lose. That's it. In the next video, I'm going to talk about Chiron through the signs. So stay tuned and stay safe.